Despite only serving in the House for 3 years, Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has already made a major impact on the American political landscape. Ocasio-Cortez was just 29 when she seized the spotlight after her first political race led to her upset primary win against the powerful Democrat Joe Crowley in 2018. She became the youngest woman to ever serve in Congress, where she hit the ground running. Most people know her by just 3 letters, but there is so much more to this Congresswoman's unlikely journey to Washington, and it is all documented in a new biography titled Take Up Space, The Unprecedented AOC. It's published by Simon & Schuster, a division of Paramount. And joining us now to discuss is Lisa Miller. She is one of the book's co-authors. Lisa, welcome. It's so great to have you with us. So despite her quick ascendance, Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez is still relatively new to Washington. So why did you feel a biography about her life and young career needed to be published now?
I mean, first of all, she hadn't been elected yet when people started talking about whether she was going to run for president. So she is the most unprecedented generational politician that we've seen, I don't know, in memory. She's an extraordinary public figure. She has changed the way politics are conducted. She has changed the way that people get elected to Congress. She has changed the way that politicians talk to their constituents. She has changed the way politicians use social media and other types of media in order to build support for issues. I mean, she has really changed the way politics are conducted. And she's brought in a whole new generation of young people into the political process. And so there was no question that she was a wonderful subject for a biography, and a complete biography had not yet been done.
And, you know, of course, unlike many other lawmakers, she didn't have family members in power or politics, so sort of a road to Congress, if you will. In fact, her tagline when she was running for office was women like me are not supposed to run, right? So what experiences during her childhood and sort of collegiate years helped propel her into this career?
Well, you know, she's always been a little bit she's had sort of an outsider identity since she was a little girl. She grew up between the Bronx and Westchester, and living sort of in 2 worlds. And in that way, she became sort of comfortable code switching, being different things to different people, understanding that different cultures had different expectations of her and fulfilling those. She was a science nerd. She was an incredible science nerd. And she got really, really into these like roundworms. She did a science project her senior year about roundworms, and she was really into fine bore details. But what was great about her science project in her senior year of high school was the way she talked about it, the way she communicated these very, very weedy details about roundworms to a public that was super riveted, listening to her speak, even when she was just 16 years old. There's this story about her giving a presentation before the local school board about her roundworms, and a local bigwig gets up just before she goes to speak, and he gets up and goes out into the hall, and then he comes back, and she's in the middle of her, spiel about the roundworms, and he looks at her and he's like, "Who is that?"
She does have that essence. And I have to say that, of course, as a reporter, I was following her back in 2018 when she was running against Joe Crowley, probably one of the most powerful, Democrats at the time. I was following her, and I actually thought this woman has a future in politics. So I spoke with her on our show before the primary election. So it's a little factual error in your book. We had her first TV network appearance. And here's a clip of her explaining her funding and organization tactics when she joined us.
Our campaign has organized over 16,000 individual contributions, averaging $17 apiece. We have kind of blown through well past $200,000 for this race, all in small dollar working class kind of contributions.
And why do you think that is significant compared to taking corporate donations?
Absolutely. Well, there's no way that you can write policy without thinking of your donors if you're taking an insane amount of money from special interest lobbies. So by not taking money from lobbyists and by taking money from working class people, we can legislate for working class people.
So, Lisa, here she is articulating her approach to the campaign process, which is different, right? And was different and is sort of shaped political campaigns going forward, correct?
She was sort of taking a page, she and they were taking a page from the Bernie campaign, which was sort of no corporate donations, small dollar donations from like local people. And then that became sort of a movement driven kind of politics that Bernie brought to, American politics, but that AOC was able to continue in a different way from Bernie because she was young, because she was Latina, because she was female, and because she was cool in a way that Bernie wasn't quite.
And of course, she has been dealing with attacks ever since her victory. Republicans and conservative media have fiercely criticized her. It's almost as if they are afraid of her on a certain level. She's even met pushback from moderate Democrats as well. So what did you learn about how she deals with this sort of adversity?
Well, I think that it's been a process for her. I think at first when she arrived in Congress, she was sort of an upstart, and she was also a celebrity, right? She was the first congressperson in recent memory who had a kind of celebrity status. And so she was both all alone in her celebrity, but also extremely powerful. The dynamics in Congress during that Congress, which was sort of in 2018, was that there were all of these centrist Democrats who had flipped red districts to blue. And they needed to work together with Ocasio-Cortez. They hated her super leftist politics. They hated the word socialism. They hated the Justice Democrats. They hated all the references to Bernie. They hated defund the police. They hated all of the sort of mantras of the progressive and young left. And so there was a lot of tension there. And I think that there was a moment sort of in her second year of Congress, where she started to understand that being sort of an outsider celebrity was only one move that she had, and that she had to learn other moves as well. She had to learn how to work with her peers, to pick her battles, to understand like which bills were going to be efficacious for her to join, and where she was going to stand apart and say like, no, this is my line. I'm not going to vote for that.
Well, Lisa Miller, thank you so much for joining us. It's such a pleasure, and congratulations on your new book.
Thank you so much.
A reminder, the book is titled Take Up Space, The Unprecedented AOC. It hits store shelves February 22nd.